Hi, I'm Astrid and I'm from Jakarta, Indonesia. And what I do is I currently am the co-founder of an animation company called Aska Productions. So I first heard about RG because a lot of my friends were already in RG, and a lot of them have been in there since the first cohort. And I've heard like a lot of great things about RG in terms of like the network, in terms of just the sessions that you get with pastors and speakers from all over the world, and just getting a lot of support from like-minded people. And so I think coming into RG, my expectation was just being surrounded by Christians who have a huge passion in the workplace, whether it's in finance or in the arts or other kind of industries. And I was just really excited to meet people with the same passions as me. I think first one is definitely like my expectation of meeting like-minded Christians were met. And I think the second one is my mentor-mentee relationship. So my mentor is a female leader and she's an entrepreneur as well. Although we're in very different industries, I felt like I learned so much from her. I think it was just very precious having a female Christian mentor. A lot of the prominent leaders you see out there, they're very assertive, dominant, they know what they want and extremely confident. And I felt like I lacked a lot of those things, especially growing up in a society where girls were not really expected to be all of those things. We were taught to be quiet, know our place, not really speak up. And so I had a lot of self-confidence issues. I was riddled with self-doubt. And it resulted into me being very indecisive. And I felt that as a leader, you have to be decisive. And just being able to share all these things with my female mentor, who's also an entrepreneur, she reminded me that God created all of us very differently. He equipped us with different personalities, different gifts, and for very different purposes. And yeah, she just reminded me that whenever I had to make a decision, whether small or big, to just bring it to God, pray to Him, and whatever decision that you make afterwards, believe and trust that it does come from Him. And I think the last one that I want to share is one of our speaker sessions, which was with Pastor Jeff Vanderstelt. That was really, eye-opening for me, because another part about me is I am very sensitive and emotional, and I hated that. Like, I think as a leader, I prayed to God to like just make me cold, take away my emotions, because like I said, you see these prominent leaders, they're able to make such cutthroat decisions so quickly. But Pastor Jeff, he reminded us that all emotions come from God, whether it's positive or negative, right? And what matters is how you respond to these emotions. Do you respond to them biblically? How do we take action? Do we take action in a biblical manner or not? And yeah, that's really taught me to embrace that softer side of me. I think to give a little bit more context, I studied engineering and then I started my professional life in the finance industry. So what I do now is I'm in the animation industry, content creating, and it's very different to my background. He has given me this gift of creativity for a reason. And when I started this company, I knew that was what he was calling me to do. So just to give a very brief update, like my company right now is extremely struggling, and it has been a fight just to survive. And so I had to make very difficult decisions recently, and I realized that there was a choice in there that I didn't see it all along, and God was the one who opened my eyes, and it was actually just to wait. And that was after talking to a fellow cohort member in our cohort. She reminded me that, hey, actually there's a hidden door number 3, which is to wait. You don't have to take either of these choices. The hidden door number 3 is just, wait until God tells you to do something. And that was my turning point for me to wait. And waiting, a lot of people say, is like giving up, you know. But actually, I would say it's one of the hardest things that anybody has to do, because it's ultimately it's surrendering, completely surrendering your life and your work to God, and realizing that you have no control at all in your life. And that's really woken me up, you know, like going through this process with Resource Global. It's reminded me that I am just God's broken vessel, and all I can do is surrender my life and my company to Him, and just be faithful, not even like, you know, every month, but every single day, every morning. I think my gospel action plan is every morning as I open my laptop or my computer, just to be faithful at what God has put in front of my screen each day. And that may look different every single day, because right now our company is, like I said, very rocky. I think I briefly mentioned earlier, I thought that like I only had two choices, which was to close the company or this other choice. And that was very tough for me, because I kept praying and I felt like God was not answering, you know. But I know that God answers, and I realize his answer is usually yes, no, or wait. But I do know that I am currently still called to be in the creative industry, in whatever platform or whatever vessel God puts me in. Okay, first of all, as Christians in this country, we're already a minority. And then in the workplace, even more, you know, such a minority. And often, I think, at least for me, my struggle is, how do I minister or evangelize, right, to the people around me in the workplace without, you know, choking, like forcing things down their throat. And I think that Resource Global is such an amazing place to share these thoughts with, to be able to support each other, to encourage each other when we don't know what to do, when we don't know what to say. And so if you're still, you know, on the fence, I think just reach out to a couple of people in the cohorts, right, from cohort 1 to cohort 5, and just ask them to share personally what their experience was in Resource Global.